Hey DJ Tech Tools, Ryan Dieger here. In this simple tutorial, we're going to look at effects that can be used to add some life to your finger drumming performances. Now, we'd all love to be Mad Zach or Jeremy Ellis, and in the meantime, these effects will help you on your way to Ellisism or Mad Zachary-like status. So we're going to focus on 3 effects today, and although we're going to be using Tractor, 2 of these effects are common and can be found in most DJ software with built-in effects. The effects that we're going to be using are a delay, a reverb, and a filter 92 LFO. So what you're going to need is a DJ software with some built-in effects, a pad controller or some hotkeys set up on your keyboard, and you're also going to need your fingers. So let's get into it. Alright, so to get started, all you're going to need is a track with some cue points in it, and if you have a drum loop, you can load that up and start playing it to practice and follow along with. As you can see, I've already got a track loaded up with some cue points in it, and my effects are already routed to bank 1, and I've got the 3 effects that we're going to be using in this tutorial loaded up into effects bank 1. I prefer to set the dry wet to about half. This keeps the effect from being overpowering and still lets let your performance come through without it being saturated in effects. So the first effect that we're going to be using in this tutorial is the delay. And this effect is really good for beginners because in Tractor, the delay effect is tempo synced to the master tempo or the master clock. So whenever you play a cue point and you have the delay on, it's going to give you this effect trail that you can use as a metronome to help stay in time. So even without a track playing, that delay kind of helps give us like a trail that we can follow and help to stay in time. Let's just play this drum loop and hear how that sounds. In this particular example, even though this track is 122 BPMs, when this track is playing and it's set to the master tempo, it's going to sync to 90 BPM, which is really cool because you can take a track that's faster and finger drum it and have it really glue and mesh with a track that's even in a completely different tempo range. Alright, the next effect that we're going to look at here is reverb. And this effect is really useful for gluing your performance together. Without reverb turned on, you can hear that the cue points sound kind of flat. Whereas if we turn this on, if we set it to about the halfway point here, it gives our cue point some space, and it kind of helps fill out those fills out that space even between a simple pattern. If we play a drum track here, so again, really useful for just gluing together even with tracks that are in a different tempo range and from a different genre as well. Alright, so the next effect that we're going to look at here is the filter 92 LFO. Now this effect is really sweet because what it does is it sweeps the filter up and down and creates this build and breakdown style effect. This can be really useful even if you're just applying it to one cue point. I like to set it at about a quarter of the way, and this gives us a nice slow build up and breakdown. So let's just hear how that sounds, even just using one cue point. Now before we finish this tutorial off, you might be wondering, what would happen if we got these 3 effects together and they had a house party in Effects Bank 1? That, my friends, is called the Super Combo Dimension Effect. Let's take a look. Alright, so to make the Super Combo Dimension effect here, what we're going to do is set our first knob to Filter 92 LFO, and then we're going to set our second one to the delay, then we're going to set our last one to the reverb, and then we're going to set our filter LFO again to about a quarter, and then the delay at about halfway here, then we're going to set our reverb to about half as well. Alright, so once you have the effects all set up, you are now ready to unleash the Super Combo Dimension effect. Turn all 3 effects on and enjoy. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial on how you can use effects to help with your finger drumming performances. If you already have some tips and tricks or effects that you use in your finger drumming performances, feel free to share them in the comments below. And again, for all tips and tricks DJ related, keep it on djtechtools.com.